Who's out there? Is there somebody that...
With at-risk children. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly. Here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Who wants craft beer? Saturday, August 21st, the Mountaineer Brewfest is back at Wheeling Heritage Port, showcasing craft beers from West Virginia's finest brewers. With great food, live entertainment, and many more craft beer selections in our beer garden, it's a wild and wonderful time, and you don't want to miss out. Proceeds benefit a Special Wish Foundation. Get your tickets now at MountaineerBrewfest.com. Brought to you by Wheeling Island Hotel, Casino, Racetrack, and the UPS Store.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
A serious injury from an accident can be just the start of your worries. What if you cannot return to work? How do you take care of your family if you're disabled? At Gellner Law Offices, we represent seriously injured people and understand their problem. We know how to get you fair compensation. We will work hard to make sure you get the money you deserve for your losses. Don't go it alone. If you're hurt in an accident, call us at 304-242-2900 or visit us at GellnerLaw.com.
We'd like to help.
The annual Wheelin' Feelin' Chili Cook-Off is right around the corner. Join us August 7th from noon to 6 for the Ohio Valley's best chili. Stop on down at Wheeling's Heritage Port to enjoy great food, an antique car show, and live music featuring the New Age Adinas and Eli and the Bojo Kings. The Wheeling Feeling Chili Cook-Off is an International Chili Society sanctioned.
All righty, thank you.
Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Hello everyone, from the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday, mix of clouds and sunshine, a daytime high of 83, partly cloudy overnight, 63 for the low, clouds and sunshine mixing for a warmer day for your Friday, but highs in the upper 80s. Have yourself a great day everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning, everyone, and a big welcome back.
Happy Friday, everybody. Some would like to call it...
Don't get ahead of yourself here.
I mean, Thursday.
It's not the weekend. It's only Thursday.
I can dream, can I?
No.
Wake up. Smell the coffee, all right?
It's time for coffee, isn't it, gentlemen?
I need a little more than that.
What do you need?
I'm bored, and I need some entertainment.
I can do that.
I can do that.
Buckle up, baby.
Okay, it's showtime!
Conversations you care about from people you know. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, celebrating the 100 days of summer.
There we go. There we go. You heard a minute ago. I was trying to turn the camera on. I turned it on and turned it off. Now I think I got it back on again. 64 degrees and foggy, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. 64 degrees, lighter fog here at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling. 64 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Some of you, if you listen to the video feed during the news breaks, for example, you oftentimes get a chance to hear my little buddy show up. Teddy just showed up, and Biff, you probably heard him. If you maybe you heard him screaming. What he likes to do is look at the view meters, where it shows the modulation on my mixer here. He likes to yell and make it go into the red, so that's why he gets excited when it goes red. So that's what he was yelling into the mixer for. If y'all were wondering, what was that strange little voice there in the background? And he always tries to hide himself from me when he first comes in. So he throws something into this room, then he runs and hides, and I have to go find it. It all has to happen during the 9 to 9:10 break. I've got to get all of that done during the break. It's been a busy morning. We talked to Rick Staten in the last hour about the For the People Act and the Manchin Compromise. We've talked about Andrew Cuomo. We are going to talk to Brad McElhenney about COVID and back to school in just one quick second here. And but you know what, Biffy, my favorite part of the morning was talking to the folks from the A to Z mystery books for kids. The author of the books and the producer of the podcast about those books, because that's the kind of book, when I was a kid, I grew up with those, as he correctly analyzed, for me it was the Hardy Boys, Encyclopedia Brown, the Boxcar Children, and he's written these A to Z mysteries and has turned them into a podcast called The Clue Club as well. That was the most fun for me. I'm going to tell you, the minute I got the air, I'm going to start ordering a couple of these A to Z mystery books. I know they're for kids. I'm going to want to read them. I love that. I love that kind of stuff. All right, 9:13 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Brad with us?
Yes, he is.
Mr. McElhenney is here. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, good morning. If you were listening to me and Biff off the air, we were talking about sausage biscuits.
Oh, that sounds good today.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds good. Where's your favorite sausage biscuit from?
Well, I mean, in the Kanawha Valley, you have Tudor's Biscuit World, although not to be underrated is Susie's Biscuits, S-U-Z-Y. So both of those are solid choices. I was suggesting to Biff that perhaps he should open a sausage biscuit store in the vicinity of the studio, but the danger would be he would eat the profits.
Well, it's just I always wanted to open up a restaurant or a bar, and I realized in either case we would make no money. So
yeah, right. That's dangerous.
I've never done that. Although, you know what? In seriousness, the remaining Hardys here in the Upper Ohio Valley, which Governor Justice went to when he was here a couple of times in his first term at least, closed this week. So there are no Hardys around here anymore. But there's a lot of speculation. What might go into that building. And one of the things that's been mentioned, again, not officially, just mentioned, is the possibility of a Tudor Biscuit World in there.
Oh man, that would be life changing. That would be altering. Yeah.
I have never been to one of those. There is one in Weirton, and of course I know there are many all across the state. I've never been to a Tudor Biscuit World. So, you think I would like that?
I believe you would, and there are a lot of biscuit options and coffee.
Yeah, all is good. But now you got me thinking. I got 45 minutes. Yeah, I got to come up with some kind of sausage biscuit or something when I'm done on the show here this morning. I'm looking at a survey here having to do with the pandemic. Brad, let me ask you this, and maybe Biff get into this as well. Someone asked 1,500 Americans, it's a poll done of 1,500 Americans, when do you think the pandemic will be officially over? Just, a speculation. You got any thoughts on that, Brad?
No, man, I'm so bummed because I would have told you this past April or May. Because I was like, all right, I'm taking off my mask. I am going on vacation. We did go on vacation. And that's it, our freedoms will be restored, I thought. Life will return to something resembling normal. Now I don't know. Is the Delta variant going to transform into something else? It's very distressing.
It really is. I have always, even after, I was so happy to be off with a mask, and, I pretty much go about my daily life anymore. I love that, out to lunch all the time. Yeah, I'm so happy about that. I still try to be a little careful in too enclosed a space, but my mask is always in my pocket. I always carry my mask in my pocket. And more, I'm putting my hand in my pocket thinking, should I bring it out? Should I bring it out? In this survey that was done, 9% of the people surveyed said they think the pandemic will be over this year. 25% said maybe next year. And 21% said they think this pandemic will never be over. Now,
oh man,
I don't believe that, but I understand where they're coming from. Will it ever come to an end?
Right. Yeah, and as a vaccinated person, I feel confident that if I were to be a breakthrough case and get some COVID, it seems like it will be mild symptoms, but you worry about spreading. And my worry now is with the approach of school. I've got two school-age kids in my house. One a public school student and the other going off to college, and I don't want to accidentally spread it to them, and then their school year is disrupted after all the work to get here. So that's my concern. But
well, let's talk about that. The governor seems to be reticent to impose any additional regulations. He is, to his credit, very concerned about the Delta variant. He is concerned about the rise in cases. I think 35 counties are not green on the latest DHHR map, 35, 36, something like that. 2 counties at least in the red, including Marshall County up here. So COVID rising, a Delta variant out there, and the governor acknowledges this is a real serious problem. But the governor seems to be very reticent to want to return to any kind of formal regulation. And I guess the state school board kind of took that laissez-faire approach yesterday too. Is that right?
Pretty much. The big question in my mind was, well, is the state going to provide any kind of mask mandate or mask guidance to schools? And there wasn't any. It's going to be left to the counties. And then the map that we've all been looking at that you just alluded to, showing Marshall and I think Wyoming counties on red right now. Well, the map is for your information only. Just so you know, it doesn't cause anything to happen. There are a couple of changes that were announced by state school officials that are, I think, of interest and I think common sense. I'm still thinking through them, but last year when there was a COVID case identified in the classroom, if I understand right, they sent the whole class home for 10 days or so as a precaution. And this year they're not going to do that. It's going to be they're going to review seating charts, where you were on the bus, the cafeteria, and then students who were within 3 feet of an infected person then would be sent home to quarantine. But there's a couple caveats even to that. If you were within that 3 feet but you had your mask on, then don't worry about it. Keep on coming to school. And if you're vaccinated, according to Superintendent Birch, same thing. You don't have to necessarily go home and quarantine. So that could be far less disruptive for a whole lot of kids. You wouldn't miss in-school instruction, knowing how important athletics is. It doesn't sound like you would miss your sports team or your band practice because you've been sent home as part of a large group. That aspect, frankly, my general first impression is favorable to that one, that it's a little more refined in terms of response. But you're right, there is not really any kind of mass guidance beyond that. That incentive is what there is from the state perspective, and they've left it to the counties. And then, I'm reading the story from the Intelligencer in your neck of the woods, and in Marshall County, they're saying, Marshall County, which is on red in the map, they're saying at this time we do not have a mask mandate because there is not one at the state level. We have followed all state mandates, so we'll continue that. So, on the overall mask policy, it's being passed to the counties, and then you're already seeing counties saying, well, if the state's not going to make it, then we're not going to.
Yeah, and that's Howard Gamble, the Ohio County Health Administrator, said yesterday after the state guidance, or lack of guide, whatever you want to call it, guidelines came out. Howard said, he really wishes there had been a more clear directive on schools from the school board because, individual counties just kind of, they look to the state for a sense of where to go and what to do next. He thinks the statewide decisions create a more consistent approach across the state to the problems. I think you always leave some flexibility for individual districts, but I do get Howard's point that there is more consistency. There's a greater sense of local boards have something to fall back on if they're going to try to go to mass or whatever, if the school board would recommend it. Like you said, and I'm not picking on Shelby Haynes down there in Marshall County at all, but they're in the red. I mean, literally, I changed my lunch plans yesterday because I decided I didn't want to go to Marshall County for lunch. I went somewhere else. They're in the red. Seems to me you ought to be thinking more seriously about maybe some kind of requirements. But I guess it's up to everybody to figure it out themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's a tough one because elementary school age students, kids 12 and below, are not eligible yet for the vaccine, but they're going to be in classrooms pretty close together. It seems hard to keep little kids from mingling. It seems like the littler you are, the harder it's going to be to keep that mask up on your face and be attentive to it. Even if your mom makes you wear it, then, is it going to come off over the course of the day or slip down to your neck? So it's a tough one. And then, high school kids, some may be able to make their own decisions, but it feels to me like, remembering what things were like in high school or middle school, you're so subject to what your peers are doing. And are you going to be the only kid who was uncool enough to be sitting there in geography with your mask on? So, yeah, I mean, some of this kind of maybe needs the permission structure of the governor or Superintendent Birch to say we advise it or at least go that far rather than saying it's just up to you. It's whatever anybody wants. And
go ahead.
Well, it's feeling like a mixed message to me. On the other hand, you've got Clay Marsh, the coronavirus czar, saying, we're really reaching a point here where it's getting serious, but not much being done in terms of response.
And I guess that's some of it may be, and like some of those modifications you talked about in the schools, maybe from having had the last year's experience and recognizing that maybe you don't have to send everybody home. There are better ways to do it. So some is just the learning process. But I can't help but think a lot of this is the small p political process. The governor, state school board, probably local boards, they don't want to go again through the hassle of hearing people complain and, my God, why are you making us wear a mask? It's my freedom. And it's a terrible way to make a decision, but I think probably some of this is just, we don't want the hassle. Now, maybe I'm being cynical, but I think that's probably part of it.
Well, as you know, if you've listened to the governor, politics is not a part of any decision he makes. He does not base his decisions on politics. I've heard him say so, and that must be true. But he did go out further and faster than some other particular Republican governors on the stay-at-home orders and the mask orders last year. And when he lifted them, it then felt like, well, you can't really go back.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody had thought that we would. I think the governor back in April or May felt like we did. Like, all right, the coast is clear. We're getting better. But here we are, and the situation has changed, and the hospitalizations are going up, and 2 counties on the red, and the facts on the ground are different, but it does feel to me like the political will and the desire of the people is not to return to the things that we've all gone through.
The political will is a good word. It's just not there. But nobody wants to go back to this kind of stuff. The real answer, Brad, is a much higher vaccination rate. If we could get that vaccination rate dramatically higher, if we can get enough people vaccinated, then some of these problems will, I think, if I understand the science correctly, will probably go away. But certainly the do it for baby dog didn't do it for anybody, I don't think. The rate, I think I did see where the vaccination rate is inching up a little bit. You probably have a better sense of that than I do. But the contest didn't lead to any kind of huge surge in vaccinations. So we still have a significant percentage of folks unvaccinated. I saw a social media meme yesterday, which actually I think makes sense. It said, you want to have people get vaccinated? Make a vaccination card required proof of entry into a high school football game.
Yeah, I keep seeing that kind of philosophy that I don't think we're pursuing in West Virginia, but to open more doors for people who can prove that they're vaccinated and penalize people who haven't been, particularly at public gatherings, concerts, sports activities, your job, those kinds of things. But it does not seem like the governor is wanting to push for that kind of thing, or that it's just happening from the ground up in West Virginia. But that might do it. I kind of thought that maybe people of student age who are eligible for vaccination, the kids 12 and up, maybe would inch up a little bit as they do back to school physicals for the sports teams or get their other vaccinations that are required. I mean, it could be pretty convenient, but I don't know that that's happening. The state did offer some incentives yesterday that I guess I'm not sure I'm going to explain them clearly because I didn't totally understand, but sort of contests for schools that could win sort of cash money for use of the school if their vaccination rates are high. Of course, that would seem to eliminate elementary schools if kids aren't eligible, but there is some sort of incentive for schools described by Superintendent Birch.
Although I think there is some value in that. You can get kids kids get competitive. If you can create that competition feeling, it's a terrible thing to say, but younger people, and of course we have to talk about older than 12 because under 12 can't get vaccinated, but school age kids over 12, the motivation that it's good for you just doesn't work. That it will keep you out of those kind of things just don't work. You got to come up with something better. And I do think that some kind of competition in the schools does make sense. I think there is some value in that. And again, people will start texting me and saying, my God, you can't do that. I think, what does everybody in the state want to do on a Friday night in the fall? Go to a high school football game.
Yeah.
So set that up as you can't come to high school football if you don't show your vaccination card. I know that's not going to be popular, but I guarantee you it will encourage more people to get vaccinated.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an outdoor activity, but you're potentially sitting in close quarters with people. So, I mean, it seems like you could justify it that way. But you're right in terms of kids being competitive on things. We were supposed to collect Campbell's soup labels when I was a kid, and people would come in with tons of those things. Or we do the jump rope for hard, and you jump rope for an hour or whatever. Now it takes like 5 minutes. I'm done. So kids.
Yeah, well, I could jump rope for heart, but then I would need a new one.
Yeah, you would need a new heart. Your heart would give out.
Now, let's go back to the school guidelines for a minute. There was no guideline at all on remote learning or virtual learning or anything. Is that correct?
Not anything like last year where, all right, we're going to start the school year learning on Zoom, or we're gonna give the option and do a Zoom hybrid with some kids in the class and some kids at home. There was really nothing like that. The school system does have sort of pre-existing virtual programs that you can opt into if you think that's for you and your family. But there's otherwise not been any kind of, all right, you can stay home and do the same lessons as the other class members.
Yeah, I saw where Ohio County is not putting out. And last year they had their own virtual system, as well as the statewide virtual schools platform that was available. This year, at least so far, at least from what I understand, Ohio County is saying, look, if you want to be remote, that is okay, but you'll do it on the state platform, not on. There'll be no, it won't be done at all locally. So I don't know, and we're a few weeks away from the start of school. The way things are going, it was only a few weeks ago, Brad, that the map was green. So I don't know, maybe things will turn around, either get worse or get better by school time. I don't know.
I mean, it's terrible timing because, you know, if you think in terms of societal values, the things that you don't want to mess up right now, schools will be right there at the top. I mean, it's just to state the obvious, it's the preparation of the next generation. And, you know, in the least, we've disrupted the last year and a half. And Superintendent Birch alluded to that. There are test scores coming out next week, you know, sort of where do we stand. And he was pretty blunt that they're going to be bad, and talked about a lot of the return to school is going to be remedial. There are a lot of kids who have been isolated and who need attention to their mental and emotional health. And, I mean, it's not something that you want to mess up for the second year in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. Statewide, what are you working on today? Anything exciting?
You know, this was the big deal yesterday, and I'm still assessing the day, I guess I would say. There was a big deal yesterday afternoon, a kind of big deal, still trying to straighten it out, but involving the Mitchell Power Plant in Marshall County. The Public Service Commission gave the go-ahead to provide the money, which would be paid by the ratepayers.
But there's a caveat here. But there's a caveat.
There is, yeah. So West Virginia says that plant can have the upgrades that would keep it in business till 2040, but Kentucky Power owns half the plant, and Kentucky has said, well, 2028 is good enough with us. So it remains unclear to me as a non-regulatory law expert who breaks that tie. I mean, it looks to me like they're at loggerheads.
If I understood, it was probably your report I read on metronews.com. Even the PSC officials kind of alluded to the fact that they're not really sure how this will play out. They understand that they've given their permission for 2040, but Kentucky owns 50% of the plant, and it's only till 28, I think. And the Kentucky order specifically includes a clause that says you cannot go beyond this. So you maybe, I think it was your story, there seemed to have been sort of an acknowledgement that this is confusing, even from the state PSC here in West Virginia.
Yeah, I think we all agree that it's confusing. One factor at play here is I understand from reading other reporting that Kentucky Power, there's a real chance it could be sold within the rest of the calendar year. So if that were the case, that could change the dynamic here, and Kentucky's regulatory system would have less of a say in what happens at the Mitchell plant. So a lot of factors there, but the West Virginia Public Service Commission gives some hope that power plant could be preserved potentially to 2040.
But again, I want to make sure that everybody understands there's a caveat there, because I've seen some headlines or I've heard some reporting that basis the Mitchell Power Plant has been saved till 2040. Not necessarily. I mean, there's still some unanswered questions there. But I'm sure you'll find the answers, Brad, and we'll know them when you get them.
I will try to find the answer over the course of the rest of 2021.
All right. Appreciate your time today, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Howard.
Brad McElhenney, statewide correspondent for Metro News. So basically, the state school board yesterday kind of said, you're on your own. School systems, you want to require masks, you can require masks. You don't have to require masks. You want to do remote learning, you can do remote learning. You don't have to do remote learning. So Ohio and Marshall County at the moment have both said they're not going to put a mask requirement on. And I fully understand this. I don't want to put the mask back on. I will. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's just I feel like I'm taking a step backwards. You know, Biff, if we have to put masks on again, I feel like we're taking a step backwards, and I thought we were moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, especially, you know, the people that have been vaccinated. I mean, they don't want to go back to where we were before and having to put masks on, only unless, you know, certain places or traveling or wherever say that you have to. I mean, other than that, I mean, I think that's the only thing that, you know, I think I'm going to, or if stores or wherever however you travel. If they if they require it, then okay. Otherwise, I'm going about my business.
Well, several stores have already begun to say, I think Giant Eagle, I don't know that we have any around here anymore, but Giant Eagle has gone back to requiring a mask. I think McDonald's, I saw this week, is going to require a mask if you go inside the store. Walmart, I think, is going to go back to requiring the mask. So there are some stores that are going to be requiring masks again. And that's just going to bring up the big fights again, and the guy standing in the doorway going, "You can't make me not come in here if I don't." It's like, oh God, I just don't want to go through it anymore.
And all you're going to do is, say you're a store like Walmart, people are going to say, okay, well, we won't go there. We'll either go somewhere else or shop online and have it delivered. I mean, they just won't go in. And, fast food places want to do it, okay, just don't go in. Go through the drive-through. I mean, you might have to wait, and I'm sure drive-through lines will be longer because people are just going to say, okay, well, fine, I'll go through the drive-through, and they'll sit in the drive-through to get their food rather than go in and put a mask on. It's going to happen.
The answer is to get vaccinated. If we could just get that vaccination rate up, 70% is considered the herd immunity number. We've got that across the country, but the problem is we've got pockets, including West Virginia, that are nowhere near that. And, you got to get up there close to it. If people would just get vaccinated, then this wouldn't be an issue. You wouldn't have to put the mask on. You wouldn't have to worry about your kids going maybe back to remote learning or something. You wouldn't have to worry about your kids being sent home because somebody next to them got COVID and now they have to quarantine. I mean, just get vaccinated. Okay, I'm starting to get frustrated now. So let's take a break and check some headlines from Metro News here at 9:38, 22 till the hour. Mr. DeFabio has our morning sports update for you as well.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News.
If you need another break, just let me know. Okay, it's up to you. But I'm gonna do some quick entertainment news, including gossip, and I can take a break after that if you want me to. Just let me know. Okay. Yeah, salacious celebrity gossip. Yeah, that'll work out fine. See, I told you Bob's not coming in tomorrow. He's coming in Monday. I don't think so either.
To see great learning experience. There's so many activities.
The fair runs August 12th through the 21st. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Carrie Hudasek.
This is your VSIN action update on the Watchdog. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Cincinnati Reds a $2.40 home favorite against the Pittsburgh Pirates today. The Reds 6 games above 500, 7 back of Milwaukee in the NL Central, 4 back of the wild card. Sonny Gray with the Reds against Will Crow with the Pirates. They're the plus 200 underdog, 9.5 over the total. Steelers over the preseason in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio today. Pittsburgh a 2-point favorite, total 32.5. Ben Roethlisberger will not play for the Steelers. Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, Josh Dobbs expected quarterback Pittsburgh. Cooper Rush, Garrett Gilbert, Ben DiNucci to quarterback the Cowboys. Dak Prescott out with a shoulder strain. For vsin.com, I'm Mike Sennett on the Watchdog.
Hi, this is Hoppy Kercheval. Join me weekdays at 10:06, right after the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for Statewide Talkline. I'll have guests, conversations, texts, phone calls on all the big stories affecting West Virginia. So tune in weekdays right here on FM 98.1 and FM 97.7, The Watchdog.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Are you or your loved ones facing a serious legal battle? The law office of Paul Harris wants you to know you aren't alone. Do you need someone that's not afraid to go to trial and fight for your rights? Attorney Paul Harris and his team are willing to go where most firms are not. The courtroom. With a successful track record in civil litigation, criminal defense, including tax issues and healthcare fraud, Harris Law Office will fight for their clients by offering the most aggressive representation in and out of court. Call Paul Harris at Harris Law Office for a free consultation. 304-232-5300.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
This is Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Scott Damaro.
This past year was incredibly hard on teachers, education support professionals, and students alike. But instead of focusing on tedious academic drills to make up for lost ground, everyone needs to reset and focus on the social and emotional growth opportunities that come with a normal summer break. Get out and enjoy a true summer of fun.
Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
The celebration begins Friday, August 13th at Wheeling's Heritage Port with live music. Celebrate 20 years of the Heritage Music Blues Fest. This year's Blues Fest features blues superstars Ronnie Earl and the Broadcasters, 2021 Traditional Blues Grammy winner Bobby Rush, the rock and blues of Indigenous and Anna Popovich, and up-and-coming blues superstars Davey Knowles and Hannah Wickland, and many more. Heritage Music Blues Fest, Friday, August 13th through Sunday, August 15th. Tickets and info at heritagemusicfest.com.
First Fridays are returning to Center Market in Wheeling this August 6th. Join us for the street party featuring Eli and the Mojo Kings performing at 8 p.m. Before the show, you can visit Center Market specialty shops and have dinner at one of our quality eateries. Meet, shop, eat, and then party with Eli and the Mojo Kings on First Friday, August 6th at the iconic Center Market in Wheeling. Sponsored by Main Street Bank, Wheeling Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the City of Wheeling.
Hey there, Dave Weekly here. Metro News Hotline presents what's trending in sports, music, movies, tech, television, and more from a Mountain State point of view. Renowned local and national guests pepper the daily lineup with authoritative insights and commentary on a wide variety of topics from West Virginia high school sports to the financial markets. Join the fun. Every day, Coop and I dip into irreverent discussions with calls, texts, tweets, the question of the day, and the always popular In or Out. Metro News Hotline, weekday afternoons from 3 until 5 on the Watchdog, WKKX and WVLY.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley, the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Hey, let's get some entertainment news in here to put the wraps on things before we turn things over to Bob Westfall from the Big Seven and find out what they're working on. Jane Fonda apparently considered running for governor of California in the recall election that's underway this year. Stories in the San Francisco Chronicle. It reports that the longtime actress spent much of her life in politics, of course, and she decided to support Gavin Newsom in his recall election instead, but apparently Jane Fonda decided at one point thought she might run for governor. Well, they had Schwarzenegger, so why not Fonda? The celebrities sometimes are different than the rest of us. I try to bathe every day, Biff. I don't know what your bath schedule is, but I kind of try and bathe every day. Kristen Bell says she and her husband don't bathe their kids until the kids start to smell. Okay. All right. She was on The View. She said, I'm a big fan of waiting for the stink. Once you catch a whiff, she says, that's biology's way of letting you know that you need to clean it up. Oh, God. Waiting for the stink. Oh, my Lord. Okay, sure. Why not? Wheeling native John Corbett is married. He has been with Bo Derek, She of 10 fame, for a very long time. I think it's been 20 years. And he told on the TV show The Talk this week, he said he and Bo got married at Christmas of last year. They've been together forever. Corbett is frequently, I don't know how frequently anymore, but he used to be here in Wheeling frequently. I've told several stories about this before. I remember back in the days I was hanging out at Ernie's Esquire, and a bunch of the guys would be drinking at the bar, and a fresh drink would appear, and you'd say, oh, who's that from? It's that guy down at the end of the bar, John. His name is John. And okay, you sort of wave, hey, thanks, John. And somebody said, that's John Corbett. At the time he was on, what was that TV show? What was it? Northern Exposure? I think it was Northern Exposure he was on. So he was a big-time TV star then. Went on, of course, to be in Sex and the City, among other things. My favorite story is I was sitting at, I think it was Tony and Cleo's, the old Undos, what's now Salsa Joe's in Elm Grove. Again, you'll notice that many of these things seem to happen around the bar. I was sitting at the bar, and I'm looking across the bar, and I'm thinking, that woman over there looks familiar. It looks very, my God, that's Bo Derek. She and Corbett were at the time I think it was Tony and Cleo's before it turned into an Undos. They were just sitting there having a drink. It's like, oh my God, that's really strange. Anyways, John Corbett announced he and Bo Derek are getting married. Now, I've been wondering when they're going to finally decide on a celebrity or on a new host for Jeopardy. So they've had all these celebrity guest hosts since the death of Alex Trebek back in November. According to Variety, the daily newspaper of the stars, It looks like, and this is surprising to me, Biff. I would have bet any money in the world it was going to be Ken Jennings. That to me was just the obvious solution. But according to Variety, it looks like the new host is going to be the executive producer of Jeopardy, Mike Richards. He came on second in this long list of guest hosts. He came on right after Ken Jennings. He was good. He was fine. I would have put him on the top 10, but I just would have thought Ken Jennings was going to be the guy. I'm just amazed that they didn't go that. Now, he's produced a bunch of other game shows, The Price is Right, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Let's Make a Deal. And he actually did host some game shows before. So now this is according to Variety magazine, and it could turn out not to be true, but it looks like the new celebrity host of Jeopardy is going to be the producer of Jeopardy, Mike Richards. We'll see if that works out or not. It's 9 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 67, and the sun's beginning to come out at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. It's 68 degrees here at my home studios, and the fog has lifted, so that's good news. 68 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling as well. Let's swing over to the Big 7, WTRF TV, and welcome in Bob Westfall. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Howard. The home studios, are you meaning your basement?
No, this
Well, it's not my basement. It's my office here. I'm not in the basement. It's
you're not
home studio. No, I'm not one of those nerdy guys who work out of their basement. No, it's a delightful little office I have here with a bookcase and computers and machines. And,
Yeah, we have a couple here like that. They say something, you just go, oh, okay, whatever.
It's not the basement. It's not the basement now.
I believe you.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You think I'm in the basement.
Howard, you are the...
You think I'm eating Cheetos, don't you?
Yeah. Well, crap. Now I got that picture in my head.
All right, let's get that out of your head and get into our heads, what you're working on today at WTRF TV.
All right, we're going to be following up some of the flooding that happened in the area last night. Bow Street, some of the areas in the Peninsula area were hard hit. I believe Martin Ferry and Bridgeport also saw some flooding due to that fast-moving storm that rolled through here after 6 last night. So we're going to follow up on that. DK's heading out to Bow Street this morning. Obviously, weather is this summer has been quite the weather story. So a week ago we had tornadoes. Yesterday we had flooding. So we're going to be checking that out, find out, see how people are doing out there. I saw a lot of water in the video we had yesterday.
You had a video from some water over the road in Elm Grove. Do you know where that was? I couldn't tell from the video. Was it out there around Springdale again? Do you know?
That's what I want to say. I haven't seen it myself, but I think the email that video came in, that's where it came from.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought too. Which, if that's the case, then it's telling me that there's some kind of a problem out there now. That area never used to flood like that. That's the second time now that it's flooded. So something's got to be going on out there. I don't know what, but something.
Right. So we're going to be checking that out. We'll find out, see what we can find out about that area as well. So
good.
So we'll be following on that up today as well. Municipal leagues continue today. We'll be out there again today to see what's happening with them. We actually did a piece yesterday talking about the problems that cities are facing in the state of West Virginia. So we're going to follow up on that today. Big thing today for the kids, Celebrate Youth. Youth Services is holding their Celebrate Youth event out at Wheeling Park, going on right now.
Drive-through event, right?
Drive-through event. Obviously, same as what Marshall County did yesterday, drive-through. Obviously, still dealing with the COVID situation. So we'll be out there. Catherine will be covering that today. Let's see what else. Oh, another good story. I like good stories. The YMCA today is holding a ribbon cutting for their all-inclusive playground. This is for every kid, no matter what their physical disabilities are, mental disabilities. This is a great story. I'm really excited about this story. So Aaliyah will be out there. That's at 1 o'clock. Such a good story. Governor Justice is making a visit to be part of this.
Will Baby Dog be there?
Well, I cannot confirm or deny those rumors. So I have not heard. I think they only trot Baby Dog out on Wednesdays when they make the announcement. So
Okay, all right.
I don't know, as big as Baby Dog's getting, I don't know if we can say trot anymore. Anyway.
That's a good point, yes.
So anyway, the Governor Justice will be here this afternoon. Another story, DK will be heading to Monroe County. Richard Hess will be sentenced today in Monroe County. Man's facing over 10 counts of sex crimes against children. Law enforcement actually called this man a serial rapist. That came from law enforcement. That's not what I'm calling him. That's what the law enforcement's calling him. Said his victims aged from 4 to 14. Has been convicted, will be sentenced today. So we'll see what that man gets when it comes to justice today.
All right, sounds like some good stuff. I love that. I want to go back to that playground. It's a beautiful new playground they have out there at the Chambers. So it's a great facility. And we talked combining it with the storm talk earlier. That playground came close to getting knocked down when that big tree from the monument place, Cyrus Temple, fell down on the road in Kruger Street just a few weeks ago in one of those big storms. It missed that new playground by that much. So that whole new place could have just been smashed by that. It wasn't, but it could have been.
Yeah. Other thing we're working on real quick is the Mitchell plant looks like it's got some new life in it. West Virginia PSC agreed to the updates. The unfortunate part is Kentucky, I think, has already said no, and they're waiting on Virginia. So they're hoping for 2040, but it looks like maybe 2028 will be as long as the Mitchell will stick around. So I'm going to be talking to Delegate Sukoff today on that as well. So that's kind of where we're at.
Everybody's applauding the PSC in West Virginia, and that's great. They're recommending 2040. But the 50-50 ownership is a problem because Kentucky has already said 2028, I think it is. And even the PSC yesterday, when they made their announcement, acknowledged that there is an issue that has to be resolved. I mean, the Kentucky folks have said no to 2040, so it's not a done deal yet. They're going to have to work something out here. I don't know what it's going to be. They're going to have to work something out.
So that's what we're working on, watching the weather. Zach says a few stray showers this afternoon. Sports, Olympics continue. Scott and Chip are out shooting football previews, so that's on the air.
It's good to hear football previews are being worked on. That means
they'll start next Monday.
That's good news. All right, Bob, appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow to wrap up the week. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.
Bob Westfall from the Big 7, WTRF TV. Well, time for me to say sayonara, see you, bye-bye, farewell. I got to go. I got to get out of here. Kirchhoff has the comm coming up next. I got bumped off the bench. Hoppy and I were going to do a segment together, and then a few minutes ago, I got too many other people. Goodbye, Howard. So I got bumped off the bench again, but one of these days I'll be back on Statewide Talk Line. So Kirchhoff's got the comm coming up at 10:06. As for me, as always, good Lord willing, creeks don't rise, bat phone doesn't ring, don't get impeached, don't retire, Tigger keeps on ticking, and Teddy says, it's all right, you can go back to work tomorrow. Granddad, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, to the go-around of the big gig. Are you back with me, Biff?
Back to close out the week.
We're going to keep on doing it until we get it right.
That could be a long time.
You betcha.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC.
All right, Biffy. Yeah, wasn't too bad at all. Got it through. Worked out well. Usual. I think I've got somebody else tomorrow. Usual stuff tomorrow with McCabe. Nope, I thought I had somebody else. I guess they don't have anybody else scheduled yet. May end up with somebody else. I don't know. I might get somebody on the Mitchell playing. I'll see. Or who knows what's liable to happen. You know, sometimes 7:30 at night something pops up that I need to track somebody down on. So we'll see. But it's early, very early. We will persevere one way or to other, that's for sure. All right, if you need me, give me a call. I'll be around. Teddy is here, so I think we'll probably go play something. May not be a pool day if it stays overcast, but we'll see. One never knows. But I'm here if you need me. Just call me. Appreciate your help as always. And if I don't talk to you sooner, I'll talk to you in the morning. All right, thanks. Bye.
Expectations. After a steady drop in jobless claims this spring, filings have stayed elevated in recent weeks at a level nearly double where they were before the pandemic. Nearly 13 million Americans are still collecting some form of unemployment benefits.
Calls continue to mount for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo to step aside following that state attorney general's report chronicling sexual harassment in the governor's office.
4 separate prosecutors across the state launching criminal probes after that blistering report found he sexually harassed 11 women. The Albany district attorney releasing a video statement encouraging other victims to come forward. The prosecutors requesting evidence from the New York Attorney General as they examine potential crimes.
ABC's Ariel Reshef in Albany, where state lawmakers meet Monday to talk about impeachment. You're listening to ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Spirit Airlines now into its 5th straight day of massive flight cancellations. Tracking site FlightAware says it's already stopped nearly 400 flights, nearly half of today's schedule. The ABC's Victor Oquendo.
Spirit saying the cancellations are due to several overlapping issues of weather, system outages, and staffing shortages.